The Congress of Racial Equality, or CORE, spearheaded the movement's boldest initiative to date, the Freedom Rides, a descent into the Deep South by bus to test compliance with Supreme Court rulings barring segregated interstate travel. CORE founder James Farmer acknowledged the perilousness of the journey.
I think all of us were prepared for as much violence as could be thrown at us. We were prepared for the possibility of death.
On May 4, 1961, 2 buses departed Washington, D.C., carrying black and white volunteers into forbidden territory. These were the first Freedom Riders. In Atlanta, they parted for the journey through Alabama. When the first bus reached Anniston, it was attacked and firebombed. The Freedom Riders barely escaped alive. The second bus met a similar fate in Birmingham. The city's notorious public safety commissioner, Eugene Bull Connor, made good on his promise to allow Klansmen 15 minutes to do their dirty work.
And with me are part of a group calling themselves the Freedom Riders, an interracial group traveling through the Deep South to challenge some of the segregated bus facilities in this part of the country. Yesterday they ran into trouble. They ran into violence. Today they say they intend to keep up their pilgrimage. Mr. Peck, you obviously have been injured. You're wearing bandages. What happened to you?
I got beaten twice yesterday by hoodlums, once aboard the bus and once in the terminal in Birmingham.
The attacks left the Freedom Riders wounded, terrified, and trapped among those who had tried to kill them. In Washington, the reaction of President Kennedy and his brother, Attorney General Robert Kennedy, was mixed. They feared for the Freedom Riders' safety, but worried that offering federal protection to the group would inflame the white South. "Tell them to call it off," the president demanded of an aide. "Stop them. Get your friends off those buses." But it was too late to turn back. SNCC leader Diane Nash recognized this as a watershed moment.
If they stop us with violence, the movement is dead. We are coming.
Nash sent SNCC volunteers to replace the battle-weary CORE group in Birmingham. Learning of this, the president lost his composure. All hell is going to break loose. She's going to get those people killed. The situation fell to Bobby Kennedy. As head of the Justice Department, he was empowered to intervene if he suspected federal laws were being violated. He dispatched his assistant, John Siegenthaler, to Birmingham to rescue the Freedom Riders. On May 20th, Siegenthaler boarded a Birmingham to Montgomery Greyhound bus, along with the SNCC reinforcements. Their arrival in Montgomery was met by a mob of more than 1,000 screaming racists. Some Freedom Riders were able to flee, but others were overwhelmed by fists, iron pipes, axe handles, and baseball bats. John Lewis was beaten and bloodied. Siegenthaler himself was struck in the head with a pipe and kicked unconscious. With no other option, Attorney General Kennedy asserted federal authority by ordering 400 U.S. Marshals to Montgomery to restore order and escort the Freedom Riders to safety. Freedom Riders continued to probe the Deep South through the summer of 1961, inspiring arrests and violence, and forcing the Kennedys to confront the issue head-on. Bobby Kennedy began to see the civil rights debate in a new light, not as one issue among the thousands confronting the administration, but as the defining moral issue of the era. As a first step, he petitioned the Interstate Commerce Commission to adopt new regulations that would stiffen already existing federal laws, requiring all interstate transportation facilities to be integrated. But more importantly, the younger Kennedy's attitude influenced the president's evolving position on civil rights.